Halle Bailey's solo debut album was released on March 31st.
Her album debuted at number 119 on the Billboard Top 200.
What's so great about our beautiful mentor, Beyonce, she has always made it clear to keep going.
Make sure you all support the motherfucking album.
And she has always made that clear, like, keep doing that. Let the world catch up to you. Don't dumb down yourself for the world.
The author of this Pitchfork review was saying in her review was that this album just feels sterile. It feels manufactured. In what reads as a desperate attempt to secure a hit, Chloe aligns herself with Bad Boy and notorious abuser Chris Brown.
I am releasing a song tonight, my own song by myself, and it's called Angel, my first solo record, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear it.
There are larger stakes for Halle's debut compared to her sisters. She's coming off of Little Mermaid along with being Beyonce's protege, so people are expecting her to have a great solo run. But Halle's not the only one being watched. I'd argue Beyonce is too. Many blame Beyonce for the mistakes in Chloe's rollout. Now with another Bailey debuting, it's in Beyonce's best interest to make sure Halle's solo is a success. Her legacy depends on it.
And as young artists, as young Black women who watch her, you automatically know your worth. You know to stand in your power because you're like, wow, look at this other Black woman killing it. All she had to do was be herself and work hard and push herself. That's all she had to do. Let me try. Let me do that. And I think
I was a huge Beyonce fan when Dreamgirls came out and stayed a fan until Lemonade. Then I checked out. Being a Black girl, there's a sense of loyalty to Beyonce on the basis of race and gender. She's a rarity at the level of stardom she's occupying right now. And even though I checked out of Beyonce during Lemonade, there's a part of me that's still interested in protecting her standing in pop music. But it's complicated. The public has always been a little shifty towards Knowles. When she achieved crossover mainstream success with Destiny's Child during their sophomore album, Writings on the Wall, they were heralded as the greatest girl group of all time. If I'm not mistaken, there was an attitude Destiny's Child were carrying on the torch from TLC's post-fan mail. People saw the group as pious, talented, serious, and very media trained. They were picture perfect, especially the lead singer, Beyonce, who was about to be devoured by the media.
It was like the world was caving in on her. I don't think I've ever seen her that depressed.
Next, the press has a feeding frenzy.
Was it all over the papers? It was every time you turned on the television. And, you know, she was being presented as this blood-sucking diva.
When all this drama went down, I wasn't really cognitive, but I do remember watching the Say My Name music video for the first time around 2006, years after its original release. I was really confused about the lineup change because I'd always seen pictures of the original four, but eventually I figured it out. And I didn't pay too much attention to the group since I was too into the Disney Channel thing, Cheetah Girls, you know, all that. I think most of the group's drama stemmed from its managerial issues, but Beyonce was targeted because she was prioritized as the star. She did most of the vocals for the group's debut projects, and she was highlighted in the photo shoots. She was getting solo deals. Her family ran Destiny's Child for Pete's sake. And it didn't help that her confident, tenacious attitude was twisted as cutthroat. So with all these elements into play, it's easy to paint her as the attention-seeking diva. Me personally, I feel like there was a little bit of truth in the Beyonce diva allegations. It could be that Matthew was doing everything in his power to ensure Beyonce's stardom at the detriment of her groupmates and ultimately her reputation, but it's hard for me to see Beyonce as a powerless victim. Destiny's Child was her family's business. I'm sure she had some power to advocate for the girls to get more lines or to get them better photo shoot placements. Though I'm not sure B advocating for her members would have done enough to stop the lineup change, but I will say I believe B probably felt like she was the star.
I remember when we first had our single on the radio and I was starting to feel like I was hot. And I was in the record store and she was talking to me and I started singing because I didn't want to hear whatever she was saying. And I was about 15 and the song was playing on the radio and I'm like, yeah, and these guys were looking like, ooh, that's Beyonce, and I thought I was hot. And she smacked the crap out of me in that store.
From what I saw online, and I kind of quickly researched this, I'm going to dive more into it probably in another video, the group didn't become more egalitarian until the public started labeling Beyonce as the diva, and Destiny's Child just went through 2 lineup changes. So in order to combat those allegations, they had to emphasize the other members in the group more than before. Right now, Beyonce is a revered soloist. Some might say the last superstar, dubbed our Queen Bee. Sure, there are rumors and nasty things said about her here and there, but nothing career damaging, except for a few narratives. The biggest one being she sabotages people's careers. Beyonce never really escaped the negative diva label from Destiny's Child. In fact, I think it mutated into the sabotage narrative we hear about today. This rumor hasn't damaged her career, but it has the potential to. It's like a volcano. With the right environmental stimuli, it can erupt. Sabotage was brought up again with Chloe's train wreck of a debut, which is why this time around Beyonce's legacy is at stake. If Halle's debut ends up like Chloe's or isn't up to people's expectations, then Beyonce could have a huge problem on her hands. Can you imagine the story? Another protege fails after making a splash internationally, being the Black Little Mermaid, is now floundering under her mentor Beyonce's tutelage because she doesn't want anyone outshining her. It doesn't want anyone other than her daughter to replace her. There's already rumors speculating that that's what happened to Chloe. A hit like that to Beyonce's reputation, her career would be damaged, and at this point in her career, she can't afford it. Let me just say, I'm not a Beyonce fan. I'm not even an onlooker anymore. I'm closer to a moderate Beyonce snark at this point. I give her flowers, but I will definitely criticize her. So if you don't like this, please don't watch this video. It's not for you. I personally think that Beyonce's career is in a waning period. I made a video a few months back arguing that Beyonce is on a decline. Just to make myself clear, I was trying to argue since Beyonce wasn't at the height of her career anymore, like she was during her Single Ladies era or Lemonade, she was in a decline. I brought up how I feel like not as much people tuned into her Renaissance album like they did her other LPs, how she was inundated with constant bad press. I also talked about why B was in the precarious situation she was in now, recalling past scandals during the shutdown. Scandals serious enough for B to make official statements on occasion. And right now, to some of my feelings, remember this is just my opinion, I feel like Beyonce has to put in more effort to recapture the same clout success she had years back, and that to me it also signals a decline. I never said she wasn't talented, that she wasn't successful, or that her career was over. Most declines aren't linear and some are temporary. So all of you are mentioning Renaissance stats on Billboard or her touring numbers. I'm not negating any of those things. If anything, I'm noticing how her achievements didn't come as easily as before. Some achievements, I'd argue, aren't solely based off Beyonce, which again to me are signs of a decline. Note that B doesn't move like other celebrities, so me saying she's putting in more effort is like a bare minimum for other artists. B is still popular, talented, and has accomplished a lot, but right now her career is waning. Presently, her actions are either going to maintain her legacy or have the potential to break it. Knowles has this image of being this generation's superstar, being pro-black, all about black excellence, wealth building monetarily and familial, being the guardian for black girlhood and womanhood, bringing in a new generation of artists into the industry. Now that image is being tested. We already talked about how the sabotage and self-centered diva criticism still exists. Those claims are kept alive with Chloe's recent solo endeavor. And now that Halle's up, I think people are going to be very watchful on how Parkwood and Beyonce navigates Halle's debut. Will they learn from Chloe's mishaps, or will it also be fraught with issues too? For me, Beyonce as a mentor is responsible for guiding her mentees and providing them with the best resources possible for success. I'm not saying B should be guiding her proteges day to day, but I'm sure being head of Parkwood, she signs off on a lot of big decisions. And there were some horrible decisions that were being made in Chloe's rollout. At the very least, Beyonce is responsible for putting the girls in the right hands. That's what being a mentor entails. Otherwise, the girls need to figure out what other best hands are out there. So hopefully Halle's debut would be way smoother. Halle Bailey is here, and I think she's trying to build smart and slowly. Halle did an ungodly hour tea time with her sister a few days ago. She just launched her Discord. She did a giveaway for people to pre-save her single, did a live on release day. Her team also was capitalizing off the Little Mermaid fame, announcing a single soon after the movie's press tour. Not to mention the single's concept is a black woman anthem that alludes to the harassment Halle went through online. From the single's teasers, this cover art looks ethereal like a mermaid, especially the cover art, which is like she's in the water a little bit, all alluding to the Little Mermaid. This could be her signature song. I don't know if it's catchy enough to be her signature song, but I feel like right now her identity is really tied up in the Little Mermaid and everything she went through with the Little Mermaid. So anyways, also from the title, Angel, I'm thinking that she's touching on her public persona of being the sweet Disney girl. I'm not sure how big Halle's musical aspirations are, but right now it seems more modest in comparison to her sister. I think Halle's more interested in the quality of her work. Halle screams to me, I'm an artist not prioritizing commercial success. So as a public, we shouldn't expect her to be this up-and-coming superstar. Also, don't expect chart-topping stuff. Billboard is a mess right now anyways, but From the moves Halle's already making, it feels like there's a clear direction for her debut, and there might be a body of work ready to go. I don't know if it's going to be an EP or an LP, but I'm hoping there's something. I personally would like to hear some Nico type stuff from Halle. English garage or neo soul is up there too. I think the general public wants a lot of ungodly hour material from her. For the promos, I would love for a hybrid model of traditional and modern tactics like they did in the early 2010s. Y'all remember when celebs would do radio interviews but also do performances along with it? They do meet and greets, sometimes pop-up performances at stores or launch events, and they would sign CDs, albums, of course. Celebs would also do social media takeovers for whatever outlet they'd interview for. They do song challenges for whatever single they dropped, or do online series for promo. I'd love for Halle to do a series where she can show her sweet and saucy side. Something simple like maybe a Q&A, I don't know. Or would you rather? That'd be super cute. And of course, there should be virtual performances of her singles or covers on her YouTube channel. Maybe have her appear on Chloe's tour for one night to perform a song. We all know she's going to the award shows, so it'd be great to have her perform on the VMA's red carpet. It's low stakes and appropriate for newcomers. If she were to perform on the main stages, have her duet with a bigger established artist. The opportunities are there, so Parkway, please get a clue. I swear if Halle's rollout is a disaster or if it underperforms in any way, I'm calling it right now. B's gonna get all the smoke. I know I'd be giving her some heat. Okay, so those are my thoughts on Halle and B. I want to believe that Knowles would ensure the best outcome for her proteges since they are attached to her legacy, but after Chloe's situation, I'm wary of Beyonce. I've become really disenchanted with her from the SARS scandal, the pro-African pandering thing she was doing, and the final straw was the Chloe situation. The only thing I can count on Beyonce to do is to never pass up a bag. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Do you think B in Parkwood is going to screw over Halle, or what do you think of Beyonce's career right now? Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.